The stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls, underage girls, that had claimed David had messaged them or had, relationships with them or, doing inappropriate things with them.
David, once the golden boy of TikTok anthems and viral hits, is now at the center of one of the darkest scandals the internet has ever seen. What started as the shocking discovery of a young girl's body inside his Tesla has spiraled into something far worse. Because every single day, more and more disturbing details are surfacing. And what's becoming painfully clear is that Celeste may not have been his only victim. This isn't just about one horrific crime anymore, it's about a pattern. A trail of messages, screenshots, accusations, and silenced voices that all point to the same thing. David wasn't who he said he was. Behind the music, behind the fame, behind that carefully crafted Christian soft-spoken image, there was something far more sinister. So today we're diving into how David's list of alleged victims keeps growing, and why this scandal could end up being bigger than anyone ever imagined. Back in September, the world was rocked when police in Los Angeles opened the front trunk of an impounded Tesla Model Y and made a gruesome discovery: the decomposed remains of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. The Tesla was registered to none other than David Anthony Burke, better known as David, the singer behind massive hits like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. At first, people thought maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe his car had been stolen. Maybe he didn't know. But then the details started to unravel. Celeste had been reported missing a year earlier. She was just a child, 14 when she vanished. And when her body was finally identified, there were chilling connections. She had a matching "shush" tattoo on her finger, the exact same tattoo David had. Her mother confirmed Celeste had been dating someone named David. Old photos surfaced of them together. And when fans went back through his music videos, interviews, and even lyrics, it was all there. Obvious references to her, songs that premiered on her birthday, even unreleased demos mentioning her by name. The evidence was so overwhelming that the best-case scenario people could imagine was that David was simply a pedophile who groomed her. The worst case? That he groomed her, abused her, and killed her. But as shocking as Celeste's story was, it quickly became clear it might not have been the end of it. Almost immediately after her identity was revealed, old accusations began resurfacing. Screenshots from Discord servers, past tweets, and testimonies from people who claimed to know David started painting a much darker picture. According to these resurfaced posts, David had allegedly been messaging underage fans for years, not just Celeste. Multiple minors, some reportedly as young as 15 or 16, said they had been contacted by him through Discord, Twitter, and Instagram. One producer and former collaborator known as Ensley even revealed that he had tried to speak out back in 2023. He shared screenshots and a video where he accused David of mainly interacting with teenage girls online. But shortly after, Ensley claimed he was threatened with lawsuits, pressured to delete the posts, and even had their collaborative track removed from streaming platforms. At the time, Ensley himself was only 16, and he admitted he felt overwhelmed and intimidated. With no concrete proof beyond messages and word of mouth, he backed down. The story faded into obscurity, until now.
So obviously y'all have seen the current David situation. In this video, I just want to address some stuff. Now, a lot of people on Twitter are mad at me because in 2023, I tried to expose David for what he was doing at the time. And I just want to clear up that the stuff from 2023 was not about the Celeste girl that was obviously recently in the news. It's nothing to do with her. I didn't know about her. I didn't know she was 13. I maybe heard her name once or twice. I had nothing to do with her. The stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls, underage girls, that had claimed David had messaged them or had, relationships with them or, doing inappropriate things with them. And I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, I was having a lot of shit for it. It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything. I've attached an email here that I received from his team in 2023. And basically they removed my song with David from, streaming services because apparently I was spreading misinformation. The thing is, after that, I got in touch with David and I was like, yo, are the claims true and all of this? And he was like, he literally said, I've got it here. He said, no, it's just some people trying to get clout you know, there's no evidence and stuff. After that, everything was shut down. Everything, you know, no one else came out after that. So from my point of view, you guys need to understand that it did look like they were just claims. So a lot of people are asking me, why was I promoting a song in 2024 and 2025 that I had with David? It's because the claims that I had in 2023 were, you know, put on hold. It's as if they didn't exist. I had no idea. I was told that they were false by David and his legal team. So after the whole situation happened, I actually felt bad for, you know, spreading misinformation. I thought it was all fake. Obviously, with the stuff that's happened in the past 24 hours, I realized that, you know, they're now real, and some people have come out to me and told me that, you know, it was true. Not just that, but in 2023, when I made the claims, David's legal team did not want anyone to know that David was doing this type of stuff. So basically they blamed me and said that I was leaking music, but I wasn't leaking any music. They blamed me for leaking music. I was leaking the facts. So they just said that they're gonna blame me for leaking music. That's my punishment. My song is off. That's it. And you guys need to understand that I felt terrible. I felt like I was gonna ruin his career out. You know, I felt like I was spreading misinformation for him. I felt disgusting, bro. I was like, I gave him claims that weren't true, because from what it looked like to me, they weren't true. You know, they were cleared and everything. No one else came out after that. But then obviously now it's a different story. That's why I was promoting the songs in 2024, 2025. I was cool with him. I wasn't like, you know, friends with him and stuff, but I didn't have a problem with him. Little do I know that he hated me. He has me blocked on Twitter right now, and he's blocked me within the past 24 hours because I was not blocked prior to, you know, everything happening. And also, I just want to add that I live in Egypt. I don't live in the US. I can't go to NYPD. I can't go to LAPD. I can't get in touch with the FBI. The stuff that I had was just Discord messages. You know, I didn't have any solid evidence that he did it. But now, obviously, looking at it, it makes sense. So I just wanted to clear it up, because a lot of people think I'm doing it for clout and I'm doing it for this and I'm doing it for that. I'm just doing it because I felt the time was right, and I've been sitting on this information, and I'm just glad it's out now. I also want y'all to know that I was 16. I was a kid. I was scared. You know, I didn't want any legal things to happen. I didn't want my family to get involved. I was a 16-year-old kid. I was petrified. But that's it, really. I just wanted to mention that I don't have anything to do with Celeste. I'm praying for her family. There's a GoFundMe link. It'll be in my comments. I'll try pin it. And at this time, we just need to pray for the best, and hopefully this dude gets what he deserves. And I'm so sorry for not speaking about this sooner. I was scared, and I'm doing what I can now.
Looking back, those early warnings seem impossible to ignore. And if they had been taken seriously, some people believe this entire situation could have played out very differently. From Discord chats to Instagram follows, people noticed the same disturbing pattern. David would immediately follow teenage girls who messaged him or interacted with his content. Fans even catfished him with a fake teen account, and he followed it back instantly. Multiple users in his servers joked, or maybe exposed the truth, that all he adds are kids. And while some of this happened when he was 17 or 18, which defenders tried to downplay as not a huge age gap, the accusations didn't stop there. Even as he turned 20, the stories of him targeting 13 and 14-year-olds kept piling up. One Reddit post described him pursuing a fan who was only 15. Another girl shared screenshots of their text, captioning it, "He followed me when I was well under the age of 18. It's not just one or two people making claims, it's dozens. A whole online trail showing a celebrity using his fame and fan base to zero in on minors. What makes this even darker is how many people around David knew and did nothing." Ensley admitted that when he first tried exposing him, David's team and label stepped in immediately. They threatened legal action, accused him of leaking music, and made him delete everything. Instead of investigating the claims, they buried them. Think about that. People in his own camp knew there were rumors about him messaging kids. Instead of holding him accountable, they protected him. They enabled him. Even his family wasn't blind. Celeste was reportedly taken backstage by David's own brother. She lived with him in LA for a while, despite being a runaway child. People were in and out of his house constantly. Streamers, producers, friends, and nobody asked questions. It wasn't just David's secret, it was an open secret. And the silence around him may have cost a 15-year-old girl her life. Looking at the bigger picture, it becomes obvious that Celeste wasn't just a random victim. She was his obsession. He released music videos that looked like they were made about her. He dropped a video on her birthday. He allegedly even wrote unreleased songs with her name in the lyrics. And then there's the most haunting part, his live shows. David had a bizarre tradition of bringing a casket on stage and asking fans to write letters to the deceased. At the time, people thought it was just dark symbolism. but in hindsight, it looks like something far more sinister. Like he was openly flaunting his crimes under the guise of art. Now, as people revisit his past behavior, the number of alleged victims keeps climbing. Girls on Discord say he messaged them in 2023. Others on Instagram say he followed them and tried to flirt while they were still in high school. Some say they were silenced when they tried to speak out, just like Ensley. And remember, the only reason Celeste's case came to light was because her mother identified her tattoo. If not for that, we might still be in the dark, which raises the terrifying possibility: how many other girls could there be? How many more victims are out there whose stories never got told? People are struggling to understand why someone with fame, money, and looks would even do this. Why target children? Some point to his background. In a mini-documentary, David admitted he was homeschooled during high school, isolated from normal teenage experiences. He confessed that his early music about love and relationships wasn't even based on real life. He had no experience with girls his own age. So when fame hit in 2022, instead of pursuing relationships with women his age, he allegedly went after younger girls. Easier to impress, easier to manipulate, easier to control. That's why they call them predators. They pick easy targets. And for David, the fame only gave him more power. He could hide behind his Christian image, his soft-spoken persona, and his growing fan base. To young fans, he looked safe. In reality, he was hunting them. Now, the story isn't just about one victim, one car, or one body. It's about a system of silence that allowed him to keep going. His label, his friends, his family, even fans who noticed the red flags but brushed them off. They all played a role in letting this spiral to the point where Celeste was found dead in his Tesla. And as more victims continue to speak up, the weight of this case only grows heavier. We're no longer looking at one crime. We're looking at a pattern of grooming, abuse, and cover-ups that could rival some of the darkest scandals in music history. David's career was supposed to be unstoppable. From blowing up on TikTok to collaborating with major artists, he was on track to be one of the next big pop stars. But now, his name is forever tied to grooming, manipulation, and possibly murder. His ad campaigns are gone. His songs are being pulled. His fan base is vanishing. And the deeper this investigation goes, the more victims seem to appear. The truth is, Celeste may not have been the only one. She may have just been the only one the world found out about. And that's the most chilling part of all. Because every day, more evidence emerges. More victims come forward. And the question isn't just whether David is guilty. It's how many lives he's already destroyed, and how many more we don't even know about yet.